Oh, here we go. My hat looks all screwed up.
It's probably the head it's on. Sorry.
You are listening to the only show where a former police officer, alongside a current law school student, tackle politics, the legal system, and corruption. The show known around the world as Qualified Immunity.
Oh my god. Oh my god. If you did not watch the last presidential debate, I beg of you, please go watch it. Please. Because all I'm going to say that will totally sum up this entire debate that I could end the episode right now and nobody would ever question otherwise was, we had a Republican Congress. Blink.
Dead
Blink.
silence.
So
Like everybody just followed each other for 8 seconds.
I legitimately have no idea how the Democratic Party. I mean, I know. Okay, let me rephrase that. I know what they're doing. In case you missed this, Kamala Harris is actually running for president.
Yeah.
But she didn't have that name recognition to get out of the primary. Therefore, it was going to be Bernie or Biden. And miraculously, like 6 people dropped out right before Super Tuesday. And miraculously, Joe Biden's now the nominee. And miraculously, he picked Kamala Harris as his running mate, which was predicted on the show. Thank you very much. However,
I hate it when we're right.
I am. Oh, just wait. It'll get more fun throughout this episode. Here's the trick. That debate, if you watched any of that debate, was such a debacle cluster. The sad part is, it was the best debate I've seen him do. Granted, they've only done 2.
I was going to say, it was slightly better than the first one.
Yeah, because apparently Chris Wallace was worried about the pool boy or something. The flip side of that is, though, that one of those men is going to be president of the United States of America. Because as libertarians know, and totally comprehend, we're going to lose. And I am just so...
People ask why I hate talking about politics.
This isn't a politics. Like this... I don't know what to call this anymore. And that's the problem, is I don't know what to call this anymore. And the problem I see coming glaringly apparent is, in all likelihood, Donald Trump will win re-election.
Yeah.
Especially because Joe Biden, if Trump plays it right, one of the things Joe Biden said tonight was, and I don't know if it was a gaffe or just a moment of truth coming through or whatever, but one of the things Joe Biden said tonight on the debate was he intends to get rid of fossil fuels and basically kill the entire oil industry.
Well, yeah, and there was a lot of conflicting statements on that because he kept saying, "Oh, well, I never said that. I don't want to be on. I never said
But he has said it, and the dumb part was Fox News, literally right after the debate, was like, "Here it is from March, and then from April, and then because he wouldn't come out and say, "Oh, I'm not." He kept repeating, I never said I was against fracking."
Fox had what was it, about 5 minutes where it was
Yes.
here's the tweet, here's the video where you said this in a speech, here's another speech, here's another speech, here's your tweet.
And I would give Trump this. It was his he looked the most presidential I've ever actually seen him look.
Yeah, which isn't saying a whole lot, but
I mean, the bar is set somewhere around -3. However,
so you could trip over.
He actually looked presidential, and the way he played off, because Biden comes up there and he goes, it was in the middle of the debate, maybe even towards the end, where Biden was, I have 50 plus 5, 6 former directors of the CIA that says this laptop thing is a Russian plot. And Trump literally looks up and goes, "Are you kidding? Russia again? Like the American people," and I honestly believe this, the American electorate is so tired of hearing about Russia, that it's mind-boggling. And granted, every single time during that debate that the whole Hunter email thing gets brought up and yada, 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 he sidestepped, dodged it, dip, dive, duck, dodged. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. He dodged the question all night, and it was actually pretty good that he dodged it all night. I will give him credit for that, given the man is freaking senile. However, Trump kept pushing it, and Trump kept pushing it, and Trump kept pushing it. And I've said this before, I don't like either option. I really, because everybody goes, "Oh my God, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump." Do you want to see a scary Donald Trump? Like, have a president in his second term.
Everything goes wrong in the second term.
And in case you didn't notice, this is 2020. Everything has gone wrong this year. And Trump did do some typical politician things that I've never seen Trump do before, where he gets asked a question about the families living near oil or chemical plants, and totally didn't even, we have the best what? Like, he totally dodged the question, which actually surprised me that he had the forethought to do that.
It's a smart political move.
It is very smart political move.
If you're a politician, you just don't answer questions.
And he did all night long. He kept pointing up, "You've been in Washington for 47 years. You were vice president for 8 years. If you couldn't get it done at the VP level, when you're one heartbeat away from the Oval Office, and you're supposed to theoretically have influence with the president, the vice president's unofficial job is to be the go-between between the president and Congress. That really is. That's what the majority of the vice president's job is. That ribbon cutting ceremony.
He's the president of the Senate.
He's the president of the Senate. The vice president is supposed to basically be the executive whip.
Yeah.
Basically. Now, if you want to know how to do that effectively, please go read a history book from 2000 to 2008. I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, Dick Cheney was a presidential whip. He was an executive whip.
Yeah. I'm just.
And when somebody disagreed with him, he accidentally shot them. It doesn't get more whippish than that.
It was an accident.
Allegedly. But if you watch that debate tonight, and if you watch the debate tonight and you consciously, for either side, goes, "Yes, that is the best option to lead America forward." I'm sounding like Biden now. To lead America forward from 2020 to 2024, and you trust either one of those people to have their thumb on the nuclear button at any moment given in time, I pity you for the lack of competent people that you have met in your lifetime.
You could have a PhD graduate.
Yeah, you could vote for JoJo. The fun part is, if you do understand something, we're going to lose.
Welcome to the team. We're going to lose, but welcome to the team. Do we have jackets yet?
No. Well, and until the last 5 years, so I said this in previous episodes, I'm a diehard Dodgers fan. Until the last 5 years. Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
If you're watching this, if you watch the YouTube or watch the video segment of this, I'm currently wearing a Clayton Kershaw jersey and may or may not have an LA Dodgers hat on my head because, World Series. But until the last 5 years, they were a hit. Like, it was one of those, well, we're going to go play a baseball game. Well, we're going to lose.
So you're used to being losers, what you're saying?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
Then different management takes over, now the Dodgers in the World Series trying to choke another one. That being said, in baseball and in sports, if you cannot find somebody competent, you just trade people away and go get somebody that's competent. The problem is, we don't have anybody competent that has a realistic shot of winning the White House. Because I don't think tonight was. I take that back. I wouldn't even say presidential. Tonight was the most competent I have ever seen Donald Trump. Granted, still a bully pulpit. Still he's still trying to reinvent Teddy Roosevelt. But Donald Trump was the most competent I'd ever seen him, and the most collected, and arguably the most sober. And I know he doesn't drink, whatever. When I say sober, I mean more than alcohol. But when you get to this moment that it took 12 days before re-election to see a competent Donald Trump, oh my God. And on the other side of that aisle, I legitimately saw at another podium a man who is totally fried.
Yeah.
I think I can almost see somebody's argument for voting for Donald Trump. I really can. I can understand it. I don't agree with it. I think if you're willing to give up some convictions for victory, then you're willing to give up everything for your freedom. Sorry, I said that wrong. You are willing to give up everything for your safety and lose your freedom. The problem now is the other guy, former Vice President Biden. And Trump played this beautifully. The best thing he could have ever done, he did. He let Biden talk.
Yeah, I did notice that. The first debate, he was constantly interrupting him. In this debate,
He let him talk.
when Biden was talking, I looked over at Trump on the other side of the screen, and Trump was just sitting there looking at him. Like, it was obvious he knew what he was doing.
And if you missed this, go watch it. It's even better when you watch it. Trump said something to the effect of, you misquoted him, that he has done more for the black community since Abraham Lincoln. Agree with that, don't agree with that, whatever. We can make a whole 9-part series on Abraham Lincoln and the black community. However, comma, 3 minutes later, less than 3 minutes later, Biden literally looks up and goes, President Lincoln over here. And he wasn't being sarcastic. Like, it was a total Pelosi thing of, we've tried to work with President Bush.
Well, the difference is Biden wasn't in office pretty close, but not in office when Lincoln was president.
But he literally, Biden is falling apart at the seams, and because tonight at the very end, it was a question about environmental something. Right? And the question got asked, would you ban fracking? Or are you trying to kill the oil industry? Biden essentially said yes.
Well, near the end, yeah. At one point he did, and then later towards the end he said, "Oh, I would never ban fracking."
And then,
and it's like, what?
Well, Trump asked him. He goes, "Are you trying to get rid of the oil industry?" And what Biden said, I understand what he meant, but it's not what he said. Because he said yes to other renewable sources, but he had enough pause between the yes and the other renewable sources that, I mean, I'm not the greatest video editor in the world, but that's going to make one hell of a commercial. And they're going to play the ever-living crap out of it in Pennsylvania. They're going to play the ever-living crap out of it.
He said he was going to transition away from the oil industry, I think is what he actually said.
But the problem is, he started out with yes.
Yeah.
And transition to renewable energy.
And Trump paused and said, well, that's a big statement.
Yeah, like when you take Donald Trump off guard,
You really missed out.
like that is one of the biggest gaffes I think I've ever seen. You are fighting to win president of the United States, and you have one. They have to carry Pennsylvania. Whoever carries Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania and Florida will win. Whoever carries Pennsylvania and Florida will win the White House. That is my opinion. I can be proven wrong. Whatever. If Trump carries Pennsylvania and Florida, he wins. If Biden carries Pennsylvania and Florida, he wins. The thing about it is, I've known some people from Pennsylvania in my 30 years, almost 30 years on this earth. They talk more like Trump than they do Biden. And then you have a massive industry of coal, and I mean, there's a reason it's called the Rust Belt. That has a lot to do with the oil industry. And you look up and you have the guy running for president openly says he wants to kill the industry. Like for anybody that didn't watch that debate tonight, the last debate. I mean, we're 12 days before an election. Something like 50-something million people I think have already voted, which I find highly interesting. But you were so close to an election that you don't have the opportunity to screw up here and fix it. And this is where you run down the rabbit hole of, okay, let's play two scenarios out. This is what I said in the previous episode that we were going to talk about. Let's play two scenarios out, and then I'm going to give you my opinion. If Biden wins, I do not believe that there is going to be a high level of civil unrest. However, there's still that chance. Because, and a lot of it's going to depend on, how Congress sits too. I do not see, this is just my opinion, I do not see a Biden presidency lasting 4 years.
I would agree with that.
Well, and this is why, and Nancy Pelosi set it up for them. If the Republicans take back Congress, Pelosi set it up already to use the 25th Amendment to remove a president for incompetency.
Yeah. Which they have kind of used that before, but it wasn't a hostile takeover like that would be.
I also am not sure Biden can mentally or physically handle the office of the presidency in his current state for 4 years. I honestly believe that if you vote for Joe Biden for president, you need to come to terms with the fact that most likely you are voting for Kamala Harris. The question becomes how long. Now, with that being said, I do not think that the civil unrest that is currently going on in our country, because it's if you live in a major metropolitan area, there is civil unrest going on, and you just need to understand that. And know your surroundings and know where you're going, etc. However, if Donald Trump is reelected, and granted, we might not know this because you were talking about an election that is going to be contested one way or the other, and it's probably going to go to the Supreme Court.
Well, you mentioned Florida earlier. That's what happened in 2000.
Yeah, and guess who's going to be sitting on the Supreme Court as of Monday?
And was it 2018 where they kept just finding ballots everywhere?
Yeah, it's elections are actually a nightmare. But Amy Coney Barrett will probably be confirmed to the Supreme Court this coming Monday. It goes to the what?
We'll see.
I think she will.
I think there will be a delay by somebody.
I don't know how they're going to. Because if they needed 60, I could see it, but they don't.
Well, and
Murkowski and Collins aren't enough to delay that vote.
I don't know. I don't know for sure, but the Democrats have a lot of incentive to hold off. Although I will say, I hadn't thought about this until just a few minutes ago, that gaffe with Biden, that doesn't just impact the presidential debate or the presidential race. I mean, you've got people running for Congress and people running for Senate.
Oh, down ballot, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we see it in Oklahoma. They've got the cookie cutter ad that this person votes with Nancy Pelosi. This person votes with that person. Which, whatever. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But that's what the ad is going to say. Joe Biden is running for president as a Democrat. And now you've got this other Democrat. And Joe Biden says oil industry, blah, blah, blah.
Well, and Donald Trump said it too. He goes, I hope you're listening, Texas.
Yes.
I hope you're listening, Pennsylvania. I hope you're listening, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And we both looked at each other like, hey.
And everybody in one of those 3 states looked up at their TV and said, oh, hey.
Yeah.
If you and I did it.
Well, that's because it's Oklahoma. Nobody ever talks about us.
Yeah.
But you were to this point of he gaffed, and it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
After watching that debate tonight, this election is going to be contested no matter what, and I honestly believe it will be decided by the Supreme Court. However, the amount of civil unrest that will ensue if Donald Trump is reelected, I think it's going to be staggering, and it's going to be persistent over the next 4 years. And I'm not talking about peaceful protest. That's not what I'm talking about. And if you've listened to me for any moment of time, what?
Is that one?
That was one.
Okay.
If you've listened to me for any bit of a time, you know that I believe in peaceful protest. I have been to them myself.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's a fine line that can get crossed real easy by some instigators that turn a peaceful protest into a violent altercation, which in essence is civil unrest. We talked about in the last episode, there was a cop in Portland that had a guy literally trying to torch his car. You were talking, there's so much going on right now that isn't being covered that is mind-boggling to me. How it's not being covered, especially when you have access to other people that are on the ground. And I mean, I know people that I talk to at least on a weekly basis in at least all 4 corners of the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like we communicate and we ask what's going on, how's this going. I have friends all over the United States, actually all over the world, but I don't talk to international ones as much as I used to. But you are to this moment of time of, here's the deal. Nobody was prepared for the toilet paper shortage. Nobody was prepared for the food shortage. Nobody was prepared for anything. And I'm not saying hoard some stuff, because don't be a dick. There's 2.
That was fast. Like the interval between those 2 is not very much.
Yeah, I know.
You need caffeine. That's what you need.
Yeah. No,
I
I need a less stressful life. I slept like a baby last night.
I mean, I suppose meth would also do it, but that's not really legal.
# Sudafed.
Well, yeah.
Oh no, I slept like a baby last night. I just,
What time did you wake up? That's
8.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, and we didn't get back till like 1:30.
Craig gets really grumpy when he doesn't get his nap.
I really kind of do. Like, if I don't get my nap and you're on my lawn at 3 p.m., I'm like, ah! My whole lawn, since I'm living in a hotel.
Go down to the lobby and yell at people.
Get off my lawn! But I'm not saying go hoard a bunch of stuff. I'm not saying go clean Walmart out. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it might behoove you, if you live in a major metropolitan area, if you can afford it, to have maybe a week or 2 of groceries starting November 4th. Because if the election was held based off the debate tonight, Donald Trump's going to win a landslide. I'm still voting for Joe Jorgensen. You guys can suck it when you tell me I'm wasting my vote. But this is one of those. It's so iffy, man. It's. I can't believe we're to this point that goes back to, I'm not saying hoard some stuff. What I'm saying is, it might behoove you to have a little extra crap around, like food, and if you have kids, have some diapers around. And don't go full blown doomsday prepper. That's those people. We'll talk about the mental disorders of that shit one day.
But rice and beans are cheap and they keep for a while.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's one of those, stuff is cheap and it will keep for a while, and it might behoove you. If you don't know what that means, go look it up. Like, everybody's got a smartphone now.
Oh, okay, Greg.
What?
Mr. Superior.
It's something superior. I hate lazy and incompetent.
Greg doesn't like competition.
Okay, that might be. That might be slightly.
Joking. Greg is not lazy.
I love how he didn't clarify the incompetent part. A lot of people might think I am lazy. I don't know. But be ready, because this is not going to be a short-lived thing. It's just not. And I mean, it saddens me to say that, but it's not. What? Sorry, my incompetency was yawning again.
Yeah.
What?
Careful you don't use that word too much, because I'll just start calling you that. I learned in a history class, I think it was John Adams, who was kind of a jerk.
Adams was a jerk.
After a while, he was just enough of a jerk that there was this guy that would follow him around and just constantly refer to him as your pomposity. Oh, your pomposity.
Funny.
You use the word too much, I'm going to start walking around just saying, oh, your incompetency.
It's not the worst thing I've been called today. It's not the worst thing. It's definitely not the worst thing I got called last night.
Care to elaborate?
No.
Oh.
I do not need a pissy email from Apple.
No.
Like, Spotify didn't care what I say.
The word I'm thinking of, I can't say preschool toys right
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What did you think? Your turn.
now. What?
I'm sorry, I've been talking for like 27 straight minutes.
I've been helping. That. Okay. So the deal with Biden. There was 10 seconds. It was the most awkward 10 seconds I've ever seen in a presidential debate. Probably the most awkward 10 seconds I've ever seen on TV ever. They were arguing back and forth, and there was like a pause, and Biden says, "We had a Republican Congress."
I mean, Trump
No.
was right when he said it.
I timed it. There was 9 seconds of silence. He said, "We had a Republican Congress." That's what it's about. That was his next line, and it was like, what? Everybody just kind of looked at him like, what?
Everybody knows.
Care to elaborate?
Everybody knows Biden's incompetent.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, you can't deny it anymore.
Yeah, but it was just that 10 seconds was like,
there's
what?
part of me that's like, if he wins, it is going to be the most effing comedic thing to watch in the history of the world.
If he wins, I might get some sort of subscription to C-SPAN. Like, I will want to watch this.
Because that is 100% going to be, thank you guys for having me in France today. Sir, you're in Paris, Texas. I mean, thank you for having me in Paris today. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I stare at the choices that will hold the world's fate in their hands for the next 4 years. I'm like,
I get that this is sad and that it's tragic, but on the other hand, if we're going down, I might as well just have fun with it.
down. Sorry, I don't also need to get a pissy letter for not having the rights to sing that on air. I just,
Hey, if it stops you, I'm okay with it.
But you don't like my fabulous vocals?
No, I don't.
You're
Fabulous.
you're fabulous.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Fabulous.
Please stop.
Oh my god. That is one of those things, though. Where do you go from here?
I wish that was the only way we could go. At this point, I'm not so sure.
No, this could drag out way longer. Like this could drag out for years. Easy. Like the other side of it is, okay, say it's a contested election, January 20th rolls around, the Supreme Court hadn't ruled yet. How long did it take them to rule in the Bush deal? Because think about this too. The actual, and you and I know this, the actual presidential election does not happen in November.
No.
It happens in December.
Yeah. The electors meet in December.
Yes. I mean, I swear Bush got inaugurated on time.
Well, this is really helpful. It says 2000. Oh, ruling was issued December 12th, 2000. So they decided that within a little over a month.
True, because, okay, but that was a different scenario.
What?
Because they had to decide it before the electors could
Right.
vote.
Which they still do here.
Yeah, ish. And this becomes a problem. What if it's multiple states? They had to decide one state.
Yeah. In 2020, the date is December 14th.
Isn't it December 14th every year?
It might be.
Because I wanted to say earlier it was the 17th, but I swear it's December. It's 10 days before Christmas.
I'm not so sure about that. I think it's supposed to be like the second week. I don't know.
I don't know. But you get this moment. You've got this issue. Okay, hypothetically speaking, say Pennsylvania. Let's go. Pennsylvania, Florida, and give me another battleground state.
Ohio.
No, because Ohio's going to go for Trump.
What have you mentioned so far?
Pennsylvania and Florida. North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
Pennsylvania, Florida, and North Carolina. Say all of those are undecided. Like, inconclusive. Ooh. Okay, we're going to play a game. You look terrified.
No, I'm trying to figure out how, if they always been on December 14th. Monday after the second Wednesday in December.
Monday after the second Wednesday. Okay,
Let
me
me
play
get
this
my
game.
sundial here.
No, we're going to go. So I'm gonna play this game to see, because you need 270 to win.
Oh dear, are we really playing this game?
Oh yeah, we are. Because I'm curious, if you leave, I'm going with 3. I'm going to say there's 3 battleground states that are going to be contested to have to go to the Supreme Court. So Trump's going to Alaska, Trump's going to Texas, Trump won Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, LA, Arkansas, don't win all of Dixie, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Missouri, Iowa. Ooh, I don't know who's going to win. Wisconsin, Minnesota.
Well, I was going to say Minnesota earlier, but I wasn't sure. No.
Indiana. I'm going to say he wins Ohio.
I'm going to guess that Minnesota probably goes Republican.
I don't know. It went blue in 2016.
You didn't have writing in 2016.
That's true. And then let's go blue. Cali, Oregon, Washington, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware. I'm going to say Virginia goes blue, New York goes blue. Say Maine goes Trump. Dude. I'm going to say Nevada goes blue.
Are we assuming that JoJo doesn't get anything?
Yes.
Okay.
He's going to go blue. Mexico.
I did see the, was it the mail-in ballots are actually looking pretty good for JoJo, but they're mail-in ballots. I mean,
Yeah.
that, it's not
Dude.
necessarily what? Tight?
No, yeah, it's tight. Okay, so see if you agree with this. Whole left coast, west coast.
I have to see it. I'm sorry. Bad idea.
Feel
Okay.
about right,
Okay.
theoretically.
And the, is that brown?
Brown's undecided.
Okay.
So, for anybody not watching, we're playing a game. We're trying
Let's
to.
play a game.
Do you want to play a game? The only states that have not been selected. I think this is going to be roughly accurate. I do have a question about that one though. Nevada. I didn't put Nevada's going blue. Minnesota blue. Virginia goes blue. Wisconsin. I'll say Wisconsin goes red for the sake of this argument. And Trump did win Michigan.
I still disagree on Minnesota. I think it goes Republican.
I mean,
I could be wrong.
no. Amy Klobuchar, Lauren Maher. I think it'd take a miracle for Minnesota to go red. Look, hey, see how much Hillary won by. I mean, if it's more than 5 percentage points, there's no way. I mean, there's also Portland's basically on fire and had Chop Chaz, whatever. I don't see Washington or Oregon going red.
No, I don't think they'll go red, but they're. It's not the same political environment that Minnesota is. I mean, you have to realize that much at least.
I think Wisconsin does. I think what you're thinking is going to happen in Minnesota, I think guaranteed does in Wisconsin. With the whole Jacob Blake thing. And then Kyle Rittenhouse and that whole colossal nightmare. But
I don't know.
The theory behind this is, say Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. Is it your knee?
That's my knee.
Sorry.
Stop doing that. Don't touch me.
I thought it was a chair.
No, it's not. Please don't touch me there. Don't touch me at all, actually.
You just got a total train of thought off. What Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida?
Your train of thought. It's my knee.
In Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida are undecided, with everything else being roughly what it was in 16. What?
Keep going.
You don't have a winner. What?
I'm just trying to figure out how. Is there any one state that you could decide that would give the election away to somebody? I mean, other than Florida. Florida's not going to be decided on that week after election day. That's just not going to happen. I mean, I'll be shocked if that happens and nobody says.
Well, and I'm telling you this right here now. Arizona staying red is not a promise.
Yeah, Arizona's
purple.
It's been tense the last couple of years.
Yeah,
I mean,
Arizona staying red is not guaranteed. I mean, if you keep it the same as 16,
Okay, according to this, Minnesota 2016,
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton got 46.4%.
Okay.
Donald Trump got 44.9%. And I really do think if there are any people that are even just leaning moderate to conservative, they're going to see the riots that happened,
Yeah.
and they're going to say, we aren't having this. And for however you feel about Donald Trump, he talks big about stopping riots. So
I don't know, man. I really. Okay. I'll play the game. Say Minnesota goes red.
okay,
You still don't have a winner. If Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida are not decided, you still don't have a winner.
how far off are we?
15. Trump would need 15 more electoral votes.
Which either Pennsylvania or North Carolina would be enough if
Either one puts him at 270.
if one of those is decided. Was it? Which state was it in 2016 that was decided by like less than 20,000 votes? There was
It
one.
might be Pennsylvania.
Was it Pennsylvania? There was one that was so ridiculously close.
Because Pennsylvania, nobody wanted to call. Yeah, it was.
I think
Pennsylvania,
it was Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania was the one nobody wanted to call. Supposedly Iowa is a toss-up state now.
Yeah, I can see it being a battleground state, but I don't know. I think they would lean Republican, but I can't say for sure.
Consensus electoral. This is where people are at right now.
Okay, in Pennsylvania in 2016, before we move on, for Hillary Clinton, you had 2,926,000 and some change. For Republican Donald Trump, you had 2,970,000 and some
Holy
change.
cow, that was close.
So it's less than 50,000, which isn't as close as 20,000. I thought it was closer than that. And anyway, you were.
Trump's gaining ground. This is according to pundits right now. According to pundits, there's at this point we're pundits too.
Okay, whatever.
But see, this is what I mean. According to them, Iowa's undecided. Minnesota,
They also have Ohio undecided.
which blows my mind because I'm telling you, Trump walked away with Ohio. This is why it's so hard for me to believe pundits anymore. Georgia's undecided.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. This is pundits. It's not.
I mean, it's.
Is this even backed up by polling data?
This map aggregates the rating of 9 organizations to come up with a consensus forecast for the 2020 presidential election. And they do it every day. It's just I don't agree with that. Because I honestly think you could change that, and that if it was that close, and that.
I think I do agree with you that I think Ohio's probably going red. At least in the presidential race.
Likely. Wings.
Did you have Nebraska, or not Nebraska, New Mexico as
Blue? Yes, I did.
okay.
Now we're getting into the technical aspects of it, but I'm sitting there going, I think Iowa goes red. It literally comes down to
I think Georgia also goes red, but
Stacey Adams. Stacey Abrams, whatever. I mean, even if you did those two,
I think Pennsylvania is going to be close.
this entire election, if he wins the Rust Belt, again, this entire election comes down to North Carolina or Florida. Like, I don't honestly know what to think. I know that's crazy for me to say, but
Well, you said it comes down to North Carolina or Florida. I still don't. Florida is like that one that I don't. Number one, I don't want to have to count on because it's going to take forever to get the results,
yep.
and the results are going to be unreliable. I think. North Carolina, Pennsylvania.
Here's the funny part. Watch this. Look familiar?
What'd you do there? The
Made North Carolina go blue.
is that 2016?
No, this is the one that's the consensus.
No.
I'm just saying.
What do you mean look familiar?
It's the one state you're waiting on.
Yeah. I really do think Florida's going to take a while, and I think there's going to be a lot of, I don't even know what to call that, a lot of concerning incidents coming out of Florida.
See, this is the problem. Every single thing. Like, this is their polling deal. So, 270 to win has updates on that 3 times a day based off polling. Well, according to their poll, Arizona's undecided, Texas is undecided, Georgia's undecided, Iowa's like.
Georgia and Texas are not undecided.
I could see Georgia kind of being undecided, but Texas is not.
I mean, I will say those two states would probably go roughly together as far as which decision they're going to come to, but I mean, I'm pretty confident they're going to go Republican. That they may not, I don't know what their voting system is like. It may not be 100% Republican. It may not be a winner-take-all state. I don't know. But they're going to go majority probably Republican.
I'm telling you, this entire thing comes down to Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida.
Again, I'm just cutting Florida out of this because of the way that's going to go. It's going to come down to North Carolina and Pennsylvania. Those are the two states that are going to decide this. One of those two states is going to decide this.
I mean, according to their polling, and me messing with it a little bit, it's. I'll even say Trump wins North Carolina. It's 229 to 259. I just. And you, I know you hate this, but after what Biden said tonight with the whole gas thing, I think you get here.
Well, that's how Donald Trump won in 2016. Everybody thought he was going to lose, but he came on really strong the last couple of debates for oil and gas, manufacturing, blue-collar jobs, the Rust Belt, basically.
The Rust Belt.
And it won it for him. I mean, I'm convinced that's why he won in 2016.
This runs into your problem right here. I hate to say this because this is gonna sound so typical. Whoever wins Florida wins. Because to overcome 29, because I mean.
I hate to be stubborn, but I'm still counting on Pennsylvania and North Carolina. Those are the two that I think are actually going to decide this. Florida's going to take way too long to actually figure it out. By the time Florida gets this decided, it'll either be too late or it'll be out of Florida's hands and it'll be in the Supreme Court.
Okay, Minnesota went blue.
This is 2016.
This is 2016.
Minnesota I put up in the air, but it really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah. 2:37 a.m. What are you doing?
I'm just going through and seeing if there are any that I have doubts about as far as blue states.
No.
Is Virginia the one with, is it Virginia or West Virginia?
Joe Manchin?
Yeah.
West Virginia.
That's West Virginia, okay.
Virginia's Tim Kaine. It
Oh.
was Tim Kaine.
Right, how can I forget? On that map, Minnesota's the only one that I would probably consider flipping. Everything else, I think, is
Here's the thing about it. I'd take that out. The true battleground states. And you can even say that because, well, no.
What was Michigan blue or red on the
Michigan, oh, what?
on that map? Michigan
was red,
red.
but that was like upset.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, you've got Detroit.
Yeah. Auto Workers Union, etc., etc.
Yeah.
There's not a clear path to this because I can see honestly getting to right here.
Okay, so on this map, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida are undecided according to you, right?
Yep.
And that puts us at how many for Trump?
226.
And how many in the middle?
80.
Okay.
But that gives Biden 232.
Right. So it's a close call.
I'll even say this one too. For argument's sake, have Florida go blue.
Has Donald Trump actually done anything for the auto industry? I'm tempted to say yes.
I believe he has. I know he did for coal and energy.
Michigan might go red again. Maybe. Where are we at? Oh my gosh. If Michigan is the only one that's undecided, what did you do? You put Florida blue.
Florida went blue. North Carolina and
red.
Pennsylvania went red.
Okay. So Michigan is the only one that's undecided.
Yep.
And you're at 261 to 261.
Yeah.
Do you don't really think this is going to be decided by Michigan? Do you?
I could see. Here's the problem. I could see it being decided by Michigan because Michigan historically is not a red state. So it's going to be a toss-up. And I think so is Pennsylvania.
Donald Trump's not your typical Republican either.
I get it, but I can see Pennsylvania going red because of the people I've known that are from PA. I can see North Carolina because, Trump, Daddy Trump. I could see Florida going for Biden based off the healthcare issue.
I will be honest, I do think North Carolina actually goes red.
I do too.
I do think it does.
I could see Florida going blue. The trick with that becomes, what's left? Michigan. And now you're talking about an entirely different conversation because if you play it out, I can see Florida going blue. I really can. But if Michigan's only undecided, you're literally tied at 261 to 261.
Don't like that.
With Michigan determining.
I don't like that.
You like better than like Florida? I think there's a case that could be made that Trump could win Michigan easier than he could win Florida.
I think Michigan might go red. Maybe. It's going to be close. Pennsylvania's going to be close too.
You're praying.
Did you just make New Hampshire libertarian?
Yeah, I did.
Does that make any difference?
Yeah, it takes something. Yeah, because New Hampshire is going to go blue.
Where,
Or I'm just going to make this entire argument right now. Theoretically, you could see it's possible. You see that
what, the Michigan goes red?
that Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida all go red.
All the undecideds, basically. That we're worried
That's what happened in 16.
Yeah. Well,
He had to win Florida.
and that was a point in the debate today about oil industry. They didn't really talk about coal very much that I noticed, but fossil fuels.
Yeah. I mean, nobody will ever do what Reagan did. Ever again.
I wonder why they were driving oil so much.
I don't know.
Because obviously presidents have campaign teams that have some of the best polling data, but
Gas did go up.
well, because the oil fell this year.
Yeah, because this year was the year of negative oil. And a lot of people down here,
I wonder if their polling numbers are telling them that.
no jobs.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's actually concerning.
I don't know.
I hadn't thought about this.
What?
How actually Republican is Louisiana?
You get outside of New Orleans, it's pretty.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Even, I mean, theoretically though, I mean, if you want to play the game, even if you made it blue until like it doesn't give enough, it's Michigan, dude.
Mm.
Michigan will decide if PA, North Carolina, and Florida go red.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it comes down to Pennsylvania and maybe Michigan.
I mean, no.
And you say Louisiana is Republican. You have to remember, Arkansas is a really good example.
True.
Clintons are from Arkansas.
Clintons came from Arkansas.
I talk to people that used to live in Arkansas, and they say if you were Republican, you just couldn't vote. Like they tried to vote, and they ended up driving like 50 miles and got turned away.
True.
If you get the right people in power in Arkansas, you can make it a Democrat state. It's not hard.
Yeah, I can do that. I don't see.
I think it comes down to Pennsylvania and Michigan. Florida's going to be undecided for a while. That's probably.
So I mean, if Florida goes blue,
and they might.
and they might, and North Carolina goes red, Pennsylvania goes red.
But for Florida, you're going to be waiting a while for those results. That's what I'm saying. Even if they do go blue, you're going to be waiting a while.
I know, but even if you pull it out, nobody wins. That's the thing. Even if you say that PA, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina go for Trump, and Michigan and Florida are undecided, you still don't have a president.
Again, with the blue Minnesota.
I don't think it goes red.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people expect.
I mean, if Minnesota goes red, you can have Michigan and Florida undecided. Because that means Trump gets 271.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I totally got sidetracked. This is the worst thing. This is the worst website for me ever.
I think it comes down to Pennsylvania and maybe Michigan.
I think you're going to get that, and it comes down to Michigan. Honestly, I really do. I think you're going to get that, and it comes down to Michigan. And can you imagine going to bed on election night tied 261 to 261, waiting on one state.
The question is, how long are we going to have to wait?
Oh, at that point,
Huh.
it's 2000 all over again. Like, it'll go to the Supreme Court.
Well, I think Florida's already going to go there.
I don't know, man. It's a hard one to answer. That is a hard one to answer. I do honestly think though, and I digress after I get on my 40-minute sidetrack rant. I do think if Trump wins, you're going to have a whole nother level of civil unrest like we've never seen.
Yeah.
And I think if you listen to this show, you should probably, slightly prepare for that.
Do you think either side actually accepts the?
No. It has to go to the Supreme Court.
How far do you think they're going to carry it, though?
Not as far as you want it to.
Okay.
Fair enough answer.
I mean,
I think at that point it becomes an Ireland, Northern Ireland issue.
I guess we've already talked about for Trump, you're going to have some violent unrest.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have that under Biden. You might have a little bit.
At that point, it would become.
I will say this: if you have it under Biden, it's going to be a lot more organized, but it's probably not going to be as
effective.
You're not going to have as much.
You don't have the funding to do it. Oh, there's number 3. Screw
that.
Yep, it means we're done. Screw up your tagline.
Vote bold, vote gold. JoJo 2020. On this all depends.
Or what?
On this all depends.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Remember, find us on social. Well, you can find me on social media. Frank Lucas on the Twitter at the Lucas Cohen.
There you go.
You can find me on everything else at Craig Jangle, Jerry G J I N G Lee. And with that, please tell your friends about this podcast. We're on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Overcast, and 93 others. Like, subscribe, download, because we can only go as far as you let us.
I hope everybody listening to this podcast votes for JoJo. Except for the people that are in other countries, because they can't.
Yeah. You can donate to JoJo, though.
Oh, yeah, that's true. JoJo 2020.
Fall for nothing, question everything, and be prepared for anything. Till next time, guys. Bye!